I need to come down.
You all right up there?
It's, man, the past 2 months and then the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Insane.
Well, hey, we're on the air, so if you need to open a beer, you may open a beer.
All right. So, I can't even see. All right, here we go. Yeah, my first beer is Hoppin' Frogs, the Frog Tender Secret Libation, an old-fashioned cocktail-inspired beer.
Ooh.
12%.
Nice. God, I suddenly feel like I underdressed.
So that's beer number 1 to start off with. And drinking it in the proper glassware.
Oh, nice. Excellent choice, my sir. Or my good sir. People saying John's audio is way low. Hold on.
Mike is a little far from me. So.
There we go. Let's try that. Hopefully that'll work.
How's that? Let me just scoot over to the mic.
Well, I gave you a little gain, so hopefully that'll
boost.
Yep. All right. Hopefully that's good. Anyway, sorry, John was getting a little itchy over there. I figured we'd let him open the beer first, but. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 309, your once-week live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm John now.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Anchor.fm or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. No better. Why are they saying no better? I literally gave you... I can see you. I could see the view meter. You're peaking at like -6. I'm peaking at -4.
Let's go move this way, and then I will... See, you can even see the microphone's
right
here.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll try to lean in more this way.
Okay. See, I can give a little more. I hesitate to do that, though.
Let's see. Hang on.
Let
me check my mic settings.
Okay.
Same as... Is this any louder?
That's
better? Quieter. Okay, let me... microphone. Oh, yeah. Right to my sure. And it's cranked up. And I'm getting like almost a peak from here.
Yeah. No, like I said, I'm watching my view meter. I'm hovering right around -4, which is basically perfect. Go ahead and talk again.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a sip of this delicious beer.
I say you peaked at 4, but then you leveled out about -12. People are... One person says better, the other person says no. I don't know.
Is it tolerable? That's all I care about.
Right. I'm gonna add a compressor to you, see if that helps bring you up.
Yes, that's me.
Alright. There. Everyone shut up.
Alright.
Hey, that's better.
Best as you're gonna get me.
Okay. Cool. There we go. Let's try that. Anyway.
You turn up.
Yeah. Tolerable. Okay.
There we go. That works.
Thank you so much for joining on this Wednesday night, or in podcast form, over on Anchor.fm, or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment, sometimes some Star Trek. All super chats are right in the air, so long as they will not permanently demonetize the channel, although a better option might be to go over to craftcomputing.store, grab yourself some of our fantastic glassware, or various other accessories, which, by the way, I have new pint glasses coming out, hopefully later this week. I finally got some Nonic pints, so all you stout drinkers. Yes. And if you want to help support the channel, go join the Patreon, and as a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to the Discord server. You can chat with myself, John, Brett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and join the Offscom community that hangs out over there.
Yes.
That's an intro. I, too, could use a beer. Although, if you're opening a 14%, 12%, old-fashioned cocktail-inspired, I feel like I've underdressed for this occasion all of a sudden.
Hey, I warned you I needed a beer today.
Yeah. So I actually had in my hand a 15% barley wine at one point.
Ooh.
15% barrel-aged barley wine.
Oh, is it the one we all know and love? From a bird?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. This was something very different. But I opted to go for a couple of a mid-level. I've got a hazy IPA, but I think I'm going to open. This one looked really interesting. This is from Here Today Brewery and Kitchen. It is the Sunset Fade Fresh Hop Wheat Ale.
Ooh.
6.4%. From
Wheat
Seattle,
ale
Washington.
Or wheat wine?
Wheat ale.
Ale, okay. I've had wheat wines.
Yeah.
I guess that wheat ale is just kind of like a hop. Probably just different yeast.
Right.
What did you say the percentage was?
6.4.
Okay. Right there.
Yeah.
Nice. So my next beer is not in the double digits.
Yeah.
It's close, but it's not in the... Hey! Fantastic looking glassware. You too could purchase such scene glassware on craftcomputing.store.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We even carry Hops and Brews merch over there.
I know. All right. Where are we? There's the notes.
Cool.
Oh my gosh. I am so far behind. Look at that. It pours beautifully and looks great.
It looks
Makes your
fantastic.
beer look even better.
Yes.
Mine's so thick it doesn't even have a head. It just looks like sludge.
Yeah.
But it tastes delicious.
Open up your Central Waters Brewing Old Fashioned Craft Computing. No, but I had my hands on that one as well today. So I was digging through the box that Novella gave me. And one of the beers that he gave me was I forget who it's by, but it was a 15% barrel-aged barley wine. So.
Nice.
Yes. Considered it. And then thought better.
That's my problem is a lot of the beers I'll go now that I have is either I'll just have my standard IPA pack, but recently I stopped buying it because I've been so busy. So all I have in my fridge is either I have liquor or these big beers. And I'm like, I try to save them for either video or this show.
Yeah. And
I was just like, I want to drink these. And then today I was going to save this one for video, but it's like, no, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Bad day.
Nope. I need this one.
I need this one. This one's for me. I know. What was just going to be a couple Imperial IPAs, and then I opened the fridge and I saw this. Like, nope, not today.
Yep. Okay, so it's going to be a good show. We didn't do a show last week. We meant to, but then 0 hour, it kind of got thrown up in the air, and we ended up having to punt on Wednesday. We were going to do a show Friday, live from PDX LAN, but it then occurred to me that we're asking a bar to set aside space for, up to 15 people who wanted to watch the show live on a Friday night. That we're likely not going to get the space, and if we do, we're going to seriously impose on someone. And so I pulled the plug on that. I'm happy to invade a bar on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Doing it on a Friday night, that's a little bit much. So no show last week, and no real announcement of no show. It was just kind of like we kept kicking it further down the road until it was too far down the road to pick it up. But
yeah, but actually, part of last week too was my fault too, because I canceled too, and technically it was my week, and then we had the guest show up, and then I had to cancel again after the guest canceled.
Yeah,
it was just one of those things. So partially my fault too, and so I apologize to everyone there. But yeah, how was PDX LAN?
It was fantastic. It was a fantastic time. Got to finally sit down. Let's see, Rhett, Steve, and I all attended. So, John, we got to get you up there. It was...
I would have showed up, but you are aware of circumstances.
Yes.
The thing that we originally called you for finally happened.
Yeah.
And the one that we purchased got delayed. Thank you, Microsoft. For a month. So we don't have a server. Till December 12th.
I told you I could have had one up there in a week.
I know. Look, wasn't my call. and I am now having to do a lot of running around. USB stick to every computer.
Yep.
Every time somebody needs a change, because guess what? There's no common communication between any of the computers.
Yep. Yep.
Multi-million-dollar company, and there's no way to communicate with anyone.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, not to toot my own horn, but so John reached out. His server had a company crash, and reached out to me to see if I could jet up there and get them back up and running. I didn't have the time that day, so I kicked it to a friend of mine who does MSP style work. He kind of walked him through a little bit, but eventually they got the RAID back up and running, and their single Windows server back up. John then said, "Hey, this is kind of landing in my lap. I might be tasked with basically building us a couple new servers and whatnot." Well, the server that he has is like 8 years old, 9 years old.
More. Keep coming.
I was being generous.
Double digits old.
I was being generous. So it's actually a Sandy Bridge C602 chipset. It's a dual 2620s to V0s, to give you an idea. And a horrible RAID configuration. And so I said, well, what do you want to spend on this? Because, for $1,000, I'll get you back up and running. For south of $10,000, I can get you much newer servers, like 2020 era servers. I can get you a complete solid state RAID array. I can build you all up and whatnot, and you'll be good. And he goes, "You're quoting kind of low." And I went, "Well, what do you want? Do you want brand new? I can quote brand new." And then he goes, "Never mind. Someone quoted brand new. We're going to spend $80,000.
Yep, that's what it was, and someone just quoted. That's like, Jeff. No, I'm talking.
You went from $500 to $80,000 faster than even I could blink.
That wasn't me. That was the owner. Mm-hmm. He was like, "Yeah, just get that. We're going for the good stuff, so we never have to do this again."
Right.
And
I hate to tell you, whether you do win with me or whether you win with him, you're gonna have to do this again in 5 years. That's how this frickin' works.
I know, and well, that's so. Even more has come out through this process, because we just got so that particular server again failed, and it failed to the point of not coming back. We were able to recover files, but it's just the not coming back. Then our main switch, our smart switch, blew.
Yeah.
One night, 2 weeks ago, and it blew. It's now hanging up on the rafters. Smoking plastic, burning rubber. Came into the server room Monday morning, smelled like a dead animal, and burnt some plastic all weekend long. And so then the other network guy put in a bunch of 40net smart switches, and then configured it. And then the way he configured it, with so much security, we now couldn't talk to my original solution during the time that I called you to talk to the Azure cloud.
Yep.
And so we were then down for a long time. He undid what he did, all the security patches, so everyone was able to talk. That got us through that day. Then we're like, okay, we have our tracking number for our new server. It's supposed to be here Friday. We'll spend all weekend putting it back up together. Let's just limp along till Friday.
Yeah.
We'll be good. So, in preparation, let's put in a couple more smart switches, because we had 2 more, and let's rearrange the whole office, all the building, and let's redo all of the switches and put them all different subnets. So that way we can control everything really good. Okay, so Monday night, we're there till 4 a.m. and going to every room. All right, A1, A2, A3 is blah, blah, blah switch.
Yep.
Going around. Switch goes here. This subnet, this subnet, this subnet. Turns out then he's doing some security stuff at 6 in the morning, because he stayed there the whole night. That ruined everything. Oh, no. And basically we spent that whole week just patching everything together to get through. Friday, it was Thursday or Friday, I got everyone kind of smoothly going along, did some software updates or tweaking of some code to bypass all these errors. And then we find out this Tuesday. The company that we ordered it said, "Oh, some multi-billion-dollar company put in an order right after you. They're going to go on top of you, and they're taking your stuff.
Yep.
And we're going to push you back because it was only an 80,000 versus $1 million order.
Yep.
You're pushed back till December 12th.
Yeah.
That I found out on Tuesday. So today was now like, what do we do? Okay, let's see if we can spin the old server back up. Tried spinning that up and hooking it up to what we did set up, slowed everything down. Because all the subdomains were like, hey, I kind of recognize you, so let's ping back and talk. No, I don't like you. It's just like,
yep.
Oh, and then you have all these salesmen and users and all these different people saying, hey, all of a sudden the fixes that you did aren't working, and you're just getting bombarded with phone calls. I know, hang on, I'm trying to fix it. Calm down.
Yep. Have another drink of your beer, John.
Yeah, that sounds good. So then, well, yesterday, that's what I said, oh yeah, I'll be able to commit to today. It's fine. We're good. The software is working good. It's fine. I think we're going to be good. I had, 5 minutes when I pulled in this morning. Good news. And then just bombarded with phone calls and our department's losing $200 every hour. We need your help. It's like $200 an hour. I don't care.
Yeah.
Talk to me about when you're losing $10,000 an hour. Yep. Then I'll care.
Yep.
So
last Wednesday was kind of funny because it was supposed to be John's show, and at like 2 PM, he sent me a picture of this network switch that was just completely covered in spaghetti. From all the cabling.
Join the Discord if you want to see it.
From all the cabling that they were ripping out. And he goes, LOL, I don't know if I'm going to make it home tonight. And I went, ha ha ha. And I went, wait, it's Wednesday. Wait, it's John's show. And so I texted him like an hour later. And I went, hey, John, are you okay? You know it's Wednesday, right? And he goes, oh.
Yeah. I was like, wasn't even in my mind. I was like... well, that's the thing. I actually was thinking it was Tuesday because I didn't
what day
get
is
any
it?
sleep. Yeah, all last week because Monday and Tuesday were merged into one day. Tuesday night, so the whole entire our whole company, 13 offices nationwide, roughly goes between 500 and 800 employees, kind of around 400 to 500 workstations. 2 people are in charge of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yep. That is it. There's one networking guy, one software guy, and both of us have to do the low-level stuff as well.
Yep.
End of the day, both of us are just like, here's our hands, and it's just doing this, of just from stress.
I've lived there. You've seen me. Yeah. You've seen me on some of those days.
I know. It's just like... And then people coming in, hey, I know you're busy, but my keyboard doesn't work. Like, get out.
Throw a keyboard at the door.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's what happened. They're like, hey, my keyboard doesn't work, and I found this other one, and it's wireless, but I don't have a dongle for it. You got a dongle for it? I'm like, if it's not with it, I got nothing right now. Yeah. Does it have a little star in the back? I don't know. Reprogram it. Do it yourself. Google something and do it yourself. I'm busy trying to save the company millions of dollars.
Yep.
And you want me to fix your keyboard.
I'm just saying, for $10,000, I could have had you working in a weekend.
I understand that, and you know what? Well,
just saying.
If I brought that up, the stares and glares I would be getting from people of like, for $10,000, we could have fixed this and had ourselves a pretty decent buffer. And you're pretty much just spend $10,000 to just your gas for your hot rod. It's like, or some crap you always buy, boss. And like, really? Do you think it's that big of a deal? I know.
Anyway.
I know. Anyways, all right. Super chat, or not super chat, sorry, but what's everyone drinking? Come on, I want to know. What do we got in the chat?
You were lively tonight.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, you came in me hot. You got me hot. I'm needing something to calm me down.
Michael says it's Mad Elf season. For me, 11%. Let's see.
Cheers.
John J. having an incredible machine brought by the House Brewing Company. Is an IPA Imperial Double, which has a rating of 4.4 out of 5. Holy crap.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Novella Hub, Lupulin Brewing, Strata Hash Homie, 100% hop, hash, double IPA. 7.7%.
Straight hash, homie.
That's gotta be pretty good.
See, Skull says, looking forward to the Imperial Measurement Nonic Pint. I think it's still a 16 ounce. I ordered in a couple different 19 ounce ones to try out, and I wasn't happy with either of them, quality-wise. This one I ended up ordering from the same manufacturer I get my normal conical pints from. I love these glasses. They're nice and thick. They'll actually hold up. I've dropped one on the floor before, and it bounced and laughed at me. So
these got nice thick bases.
Yeah,
nice.
And the walls too. That's one thing. I love a good hefty pint glass.
I know you can go to like the dollar store and there's that paper thin stuff.
Yeah, no, and the couple Nonic pints that I ordered were not great. I also ordered a full set of 24 that ended up being plastic.
So, did you try laser etching those?
No. I could not ensure food safety if I laser etched plastic. I just
could be one time good party uses.
Yeah. What was really funny though is I was kind of excited because it's like, okay, I really like the look of these ones, and they were the right price and everything else. And so I took them out to the garage, and I opened up the box, and I picked one up, and I went, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Because it's like the fourth Nonic pint that I had ordered. And I've got a case of these. Like, I was sure these were going to be a sure thing. Picked one up, and I went, oh, you've got to be kidding me. So I walked in the house, and I just kind of made like one of those faces to my wife, and she goes, what? And I threw the thing across the tile floor just to listen to it bounce, and she just busted up laughing. Because she knew I was excited about him.
Was it the Alibaba Nonic pints?
No, this... yeah.
I'm sorry, did you see the net guy in the Discord?
I did not.
In Talking Heads? That's actually quite hilarious. Yes,
that's pretty great.
Pretty much, yeah.
I have attacked a switch rack with a set of hedge clippers before. Not an electric set, but like a set of shears.
A hand.
So,
oh gosh.
Yep. Just like, I'm not digging my way through that.
Now redoing the whole place, the amount of useless things that were plugged in that were probably pinging the system, which is like, oh my gosh. And then the other IT guy today was like going through our work. Okay, and to be honest, I messed up the I didn't wire it properly. We didn't hand cut every wire to match everything. I'm sorry, Jeff, if that doesn't meet your
No one hand cuts wires anymore, okay? No one does that.
But
at
the same time, we were in a hurry, and his words were even, if we're in a hurry, let's just plug and go.
Right.
Just to get it up and running because we need it up by the next day.
Yeah.
And then today he's like, you guys did a horrible job. And we're like, you were the one that okayed us doing this.
Yeah. The problem with a situation like yours is you're always racing the clock. It is very difficult to step back and just tell yourselves it's going to take 3 days. Stop rushing it. Do it right. Because you're going to be ruining your mistakes and your shortcomings and your shortcuts forever unless you do it right now. And so I would actually take this, and this is me speaking from outside the bubble. I know what this sounds like, but I would take this as an opportunity to go, look, our server's not getting here it's not shipping until December 12th. We've got literally another month that we need to get through this. Let's address infrastructure, cabling. Let's make sure the server rack is neat and tidy, organized, structurally sound, etc. Let's do it right. Let's order everything in that we need to do it right. Because there's nothing stopping you from going down, buying a couple access points, getting everyone up on Wi-Fi, and just going, hey, you have internet, and you have internet for 5 days. Next week, we'll get files back up. The next week, we'll have server back up. The next week, we'll have this back up. So get yourself in limp mode on a couple main things, but rebuild it right from scratch.
Oh, yeah. No, I already got today of, hey, we need 15 more users to be able to access the network or database. And we're 2,000 art or ads behind, and it takes every day we're going down by 25 ads, and it takes to hiring a new person is only like 20 ads a day. And me and the other guy were just like, wait, okay, they have a bunch of open sources, and this is the art department.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you're saying we couldn't set you up with like 5 kiosks and just couldn't go over there and do it, and then bring, take a piece of paper and you're working right. No. They need it on their computer right there so they can go. It's like, all right, I think you could limp along. It's just
right.
Yeah, I agree with everyone's work ethic is, again, when it's 2 people,
mm-hmm.
and then 2 people, it's just, yeah, it's hard. I agree with you, and
yeah,
I know I'm going to pay for all of my decisions that I've done this week.
Yep.
In like 6 months.
Yep. I've had the days where you look at what you did that day to get yourself through, and you go, man, that's going to bite me in the butt in 3 months.
Yep. Oh,
yep. This one's going to come back.
Yep. Yeah. Anyways, what do we got in the news?
In the news, this one is raising a lot of eyebrows. So because we didn't have the show last week, I just continued our notes onto this week. We do have some news that's a week and a half old, but I left in the ones that I thought were important enough to talk about. Starting with Apple's proclamation that 8 gigabytes of RAM is analogous to 16 gigabytes on PCs because their memory management is so much better. So much more efficient. Our memory management is made for professionals. It's Mac OS has so much better memory management, and nothing ever leaks. Chrome doesn't use all of the RAM in your tabs. It's
or Opera or whatever they use.
Yeah. Here's the exact quote. So this is on Mac Rumors. They're the ones that wrote up this quick little snippet. So this is what is the Borchers? But what is his name? Anyway,
Borchers,
engineer over at Apple, comparing our memory to other systems' memory actually isn't equivalent because of the fact that we have such an efficient use of memory, and we use memory compression, and we have unified memory architecture. Unified memory architecture doesn't help your case because if you only have 8 gigabytes of memory, that's also being shared with your graphics card. Whether it's dynamic or not, you only have 8 gigabytes of memory. Actually, 8 gigabytes on an M3 MacBook Pro is probably analogous to 16 gigabytes on other systems. We just happen to be able to use it much more efficiently. To which I would counter, right, but some programs still require more than 8 gigabytes at a time. If you're talking about day-to-day tasks, I buy this as an argument. I truly do. I truly buy that within the operating system as a whole, if you have so many small applications open, you can shift memory over to swap storage on programs that are asleep. You can save that 500 megs that this random program was taking up, and you can shift it over to active memory on something else, and then switch back very efficiently because your storage is fast enough and your memory's fast enough. The problem is, if I'm doing a freaking video edit, and I've got a ProRes file open, that's hogging memory. That's taking all the memory.
Well, yeah. I mean, exactly. If it's doing that, if Apple's designed that way, it's only going to be that efficient if it's probably all Apple software too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Apple pre-made stuff. But Adobe isn't Apple. Chrome isn't Apple.
Nope.
There's all these other places that are like, no, we're not efficient. And again, if Apple made their own RAM memory chips or sticks, sure, maybe I could hear an argument, but they don't. They buy it everyone else. Now they're going into the CPU market where they make their own. Sure, that's a different story. But yeah, I agree. If it is just the argument of the day-to-day, I'm using our internal own internet browser, our own apps, whatever, our own document opener, sure, you can design that. But what do most people use Apple for? It is very prominently for editing, music, audio, video, stuff like that. Very professional grade stuff. But those are professional grade, outside development software that is used there. So that's not made by Apple. Now, they kind of work with them, but not as much to that level of degree. So it's still going to require saying, hey, the 8 gigs that are on a PC, we still need that exact same amount on your Mac.
Right. And the thing is, again, I mentioned the fact that all Apple systems use unified memory now. That is a shared memory pool between the CPU and the GPU components. 8 gigabytes actually doesn't even go as far if you're doing anything graphically intense. 8 gigabytes means if your GPU takes 3 gigs for textures in a game or whatever, you're left with 5 gigs of RAM for your entire system. It's an argument that does not hold up for what is a $1,600 or $1,700 laptop. Remember, these laptops start at $1,600 for a 14-inch M3 MacBook Pro. It's $300 more than the M1 and M2 13-inch models started at. And they only have 8 gigs of RAM. And look, I will say, I do own 2 Macs. I have a Mac Mini and I have a MacBook Pro, both of them M1s, both of them 8 gigabyte models. And for a lot of day-to-day tasks, they're fantastic. I have no memory issues whatsoever. And they run great. And I daily drive the laptop with 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I don't think twice about it. But the only thing I'm doing on the laptop is emails and YouTube and basic day-to-day tasks.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of work, like professional, like creative work on my laptop. I have other systems for that.
Yeah, no, the thing is, though, even on a standard PC, 8 gigs of just, I like to call them internet browsers, you know, your typical, I just need to go do my daily stuff like you're talking about. I need to open Chrome and just want to open up a YouTube, check my emails, look up some cooking recipes, blah, blah, blah. Nothing hardcore. My kid's going to use Flash or whatever web-based video game. Nothing hardcore. That's all it's going to be. I'm not going to install any editing software or anything like that. 8 gigs, fine. You can get away with that. What is your processor, and then what is your hard drive?
Right.
And that's really going to be more of it. Is your hard drive fast enough, and you'll get away with that. Now, like what you're saying, if you cannot state 8 gigs is equivalent to 16 gigs while doing editing, while doing even just probably a work program like my office. When they're using a web browser, 8 gigs barely cuts it because they have, and I'm sorry to hundreds of tabs open. And then this other program that requires a map feature, all these other features that's talking to a cloud-based system, it takes up about 2 gigs of RAM. You know, there's a lot of stuff in there. It's not editing, but when a professional grade user for business uses and needs 30 plus tabs open, that's a lot of RAM. That's a lot of memory.
Here's my PC for comparison's sake right now. Okay. On my PC, I am running Chrome with 6 tabs. I have Firefox with 6 tabs. I have Discord. I have a couple background tasks, like I do have Steam installed on here. I've got Zoom is obviously running. But the big one right now is OBS, because I'm doing this live stream right now. I would not say this level of application is outside of the realm of what a user of a $1,600 MacBook would be doing. My PC right now is using 15 gigabytes of RAM. It has 15 gigabytes of wired active memory being used. I'd be really curious to see what that usage is on a Mac.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, similar to Discord, I've shot pictures and posted them on the Discord. Again, check that out; it's very fun. Screenshots of people just tabs so full in Chrome you cannot see what they are, and these are different types of users than the home user. That's the thing. So I wouldn't use an 8 gig Mac Pro Mini or anything like that as a work thing. Now, if it is designed and they're selling it as this is better optimization for just a daily at-home driver and things will pop up a little bit faster, that I believe. But I don't know, maybe that statement was taken slightly out of context. I don't know. Just seemed, just that I could actually see it as bringing just a little bit of a bragging in one aspect. Dumb to say, but you could say there's truth in there.
David says, next week's show, run this on the Mac. It's not a terrible idea. Let's put Apple's money where their mouth is.
Hey, didn't we, when we were going to go to Vegas, and we ended up not, what laptop did you have?
I had my GPD Win 2.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah, I had the Win Max 2, my 10-inch 6800U powered laptop.
How much RAM was in that?
16.
Ah, I knew it.
So, yeah.
My phone has 8 gigs of RAM.
So Vince shared in my Discord, which you can join in the Patreon, $1 a month, link in the description, that he just shared his M1 MacBook RAM usage, and I will say, like I said, for day-to-day tasks, it's not. He's not wrong. Apple is not wrong. So his, I believe this is iStat menus, which, by the way, Vince, good on you for running that. I love iStat menus. He shows he's got Firefox open right now with 13.2 gigabytes in use. Safari's taken 1.7. Discord's taken another gigabyte. And then he's got some other applications. He's got Slack with 730 gig or 730 megs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. His system in total is only wired and active use 6.82 gigabytes out of 8. Even though Firefox is taking 14 gigs, wired in memory is only only 6.8. And like I said, for day-to-day tasks, yes, I think that's absolutely correct. And there is some credence to this. The problem is, if you have a single application that needs high-end performance, open up Premiere and load up a ProRes 422 video file.
Not even, yeah.
you know. Oh, he has a 16 gig Mac, not an 8 gig, but still it stands. It's only actively using 6.8. So.
Well, yeah, we got Mr. Pink on the server too, who's saying he does video editing on an 8 gig M1 MacBook Pro, but he only does 1080p. He says it's a bit slow, but doable.
Right.
That sounds.
What bit rate, Mr. Pink, are you running at? What codec and what bit rate? That's kind of what I want to know. Yeah. Does light 4K editing on the go? Like I've edited a couple of videos on my MacBook before. Really only. Gosh, the last one I remember doing was when my office flooded. And that was shot on. I think that was on my Sony ZV-1, so it was probably just MPEG-4, H.264.
Although, all in all, I think we're just basically stating that it's not this 8 gigs is as equivalent as 16 gigs. It's a tongue-in-cheek. You got to take it with a bit of grain of salt. And I think that's just the way the article is framed. And so, therefore, don't go and buy a MacBook and say, oh, it's got 8 gigs. It's just equivalent to 16. I can do it. Don't do that. That's what we're saying. It's not exactly that. It's great for your everyday driver. You're probably going to feel fantastic doing it. But if you're trying to do heavy tasks, be very cautious because it's not a 1-to-1 ratio.
My problem is at $1,600, I expect a device to do heavy tasks.
Well,
I expect it to be better than a Chromebook.
Yeah, well, if you're buying Apple and $1,600 only comes with 8 gigs, they're kind of getting you. Don't do that. Just don't do that in general.
Yeah, to add another 8 gigabytes is $200.
All right, that's the crime right there.
It's highway robbery. Yeah.
That's a crime.
Yep.
I found my new camera I want to get, Jeff.
Yes. But before we do that, we do have a video sponsor for today's video.
Is it my favorite sponsor?
Today's episode of Talking Heads is brought to you by Linode.
Yes!
Hosting your own servers also means you get to host all your own problems. Right, John?
I was just going to say, I'm going to use your promo code, Jeff.
Even the most skilled network engineers will tell you should decentralize your network. So why not host your services with Linode? If it runs on Linux, there's your problem, though. If it runs on Linux, it'll run on Linode. Yeah, you and your Access database from 95.
Yep.
That includes software from most of... Let me get through the read. If it runs on Linux, it'll run on Linode. That includes software from most of the tutorials on my channel, like how to run your own ad-blocking recursive DNS servers, VPN gateways, your own cloud-based Plex server, and more. They offer shared CPU plans for as little as $5 per month and can scale as high as you need to go, whether it be virtualized hosting, dedicated enterprise GPUs, NVMe block storage, and more. Even if you do host your own servers, you can use Linode to keep a backup off-site. Because remember, John?
What? No, RAID's a total backup. Don't you listen.
Linode is also expanding at light speed with 12 new global data centers planned before the end of 2023. Visit linode.com/craftcomputing and get a $100 60-day credit just for signing up for a new account. Again, that's linode.com/craftcomputing, and a huge thanks to Linode for sponsoring today's episode.
Now, when you say RAID is not a backup, I'm assuming you're talking about the bug spray.
That's also not a backup.
I'm like, that's totally not a backup, Jeff.
Right.
Duh.
Right.
But a RAID 6 is totally a backup.
Ooh, depends on how you define backup.
Well, it doesn't work for us. Let me put it that way.
Hey, John, is your RAID backup?
Kind of. It only took a week and a half.
Call me.
I tried to warn them. They didn't. Although, you know what's funny is now, I will state, after that, and then this happened, every manager, and even like the owners have been very polite to me, as if like, oh, he knows what he was talking about. Oh, okay, well, let's listen to him now. I even got flowers.
Ooh.
As I didn't post that in the Discord. We got the typical pizza.
Right.
We got the pizza party.
Ooh, yeah.
For the thank you of the all-nighter.
Yeah. You got pizza for lunch the next day, so we don't have to spend an extra $15,000 on your salary from now on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I got that. And then I got flowers. Flowers, I didn't post that on the Discord. Flowers was the new one. Yeah, you ever get that?
I have received flowers. I've gotten chocolates. I've gotten. I had one guy buy me beer. So, yeah.
I've gotten beer. I got beer the last time.
Yeah, I've got beer.
So, but it was a session IPA. I was thankful for everything. They didn't know.
Right.
They were like, "Hey, we don't want you to be drunk."
Right.
But I was like, I would have preferred a barrel aged.
Right.
So. I'm gonna post the bouquet I got on Discord.
There you go. Anyway, John, you were saying you think you found your new camera?
Yeah, no, Sony's coming out with a brand new A9 III, world's first full frame global shutter camera. It looks and you fit 120 frames per second with no blackout, maximum shutter speed of 1/80,000.
1/80,000th of a second shutter speed.
That's what. Sorry, I didn't mean to say. I missed that. 24 megapixel. Your standard lens or camera sensor. Sorry. This thing looks amazing. I got to read a little bit of the article while we were talking, so I haven't gotten all the way through. But so far, I don't think I can afford it, but I want it.
It is a freak of nature. And I'm so glad that Sony made this. So, for those that don't know why a full-frame global shutter is such a big deal. Global shutters are what is used on the highest of high-end cinema cameras. So, traditionally, if you think of a camera sensor, it'll expose one line at a time. It goes ba 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 very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Is how it reads data. And so if you have 7,000 pixels across and 5,000 pixels tall, it'll do 5,000 one-line exposures in your 1/125th of a second, or whatever your shutter exposure is. And that's how it takes pictures. And you get some glorious, 32 megapixel shots. The problem is that for extremely fast moving objects, if you go back, you can look at pictures of, it shows up very, very clearly when you're trying to film prop planes, because the propeller will become warped and distorted, as that shutter is going line by line, because where the shutter's at when it starts exposing here is not where the propeller's at when the shutter is exposing here. And so you end up with this bowed and distorted looking thing in the end. It also leads to what we call jello in video. That is, if you're panning a camera, if you're going from side to side, because even in video mode, it's scanning line by line. And so if you pan a camera, your objects will do this as you're panning. And that's because of that line-by-line shutter. A global shutter works just like film. It exposes the entire image at one time in that instant of a second. And so you eliminate all of those motion artifacts, you eliminate all of those digital camera tells, and you end up with a picture that is very reminiscent of what we got on film. Although rolling shutter is still a thing on film, because sometimes shutters went top to bottom and did this kind of exposure to get really fast exposures. But that's another story. But a global exposure shutter on a full frame camera, this is the first time it's ever been done. Every cinema camera that eliminates rolling shutter, Zcam has a camera called the Zcam E2G, which is a global shutter cinema camera. It's an APS-C sized sensor. It's $8,000 for that camera. And that's one of the cheapest global shutter cameras that's ever been in existence. And it's still APS-C sized. The A9 is probably going to be... A9 is priced at...
$6,000.
Yeah, $59.99.
But $599.99.
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah. $6,000, full frame, global shutter. That should be enough to buy anyone in the industry to go, that's a good camera. But they don't
really... That's a movie lens, yeah.
But they don't really stop there. It can shoot 120 frames per second in full... Is it 6K? Is it
it doesn't say.
6K? Yeah, I think it's 6K. Or no. No, 120 frames per second, still frame. Pictures.
Yeah, I see 120 frames 4K, captures 6K, yeah.
Right, no. The A9 can capture 120 frames per second, still images.
Yeah.
It can also capture 6K at 120 FPS as well in video mode. But 192 frames and 6 gigabytes per second in that burst mode. With full autofocus. So in between shots, it's still able to autofocus. I'm a child of film camera age, and anything beyond about 5 frames per second still blows my mind as far as like full frame image exposure. I remember when Canon was coming out with the AutoDrive EOS 1 cameras that did like 8 frames per second on film, which means if you have a 36 exposure roll, you can shoot through an entire roll in 4 seconds. And then you'd have to swap your roll of camera or your roll of film.
So it doesn't say what resolution, but it says it can run at 124 frames per second or a reduced resolution at 240 frames per second.
Yeah. It can shoot 4K 60 taken from a 6K image sense or 6K image frame and 4K 120 without any crop.
Yeah.
It includes options like 10-bit 422 capture, S-Cinetone profile, 16-bit raw video output over HDMI. And yeah, can do 120 FPS capture at full resolution and a reduced resolution of 240. That's probably a 1080p.
I think that was 1080p.
Yeah.
But man, that for a slow-mo of anything, you could shoot a gun, and that's what you want. That's like Mythbusters. I want a ballistic
240. No, 240 is not quite gun exposure level, but
it's okay. That's close enough for a YouTube channel to do ballistics.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I want to check this out. Now, scientifically, say Mythbusters, no, you can crop it out. But for a $6,000 camera, and you're like, hey, I want to start slow motion capture or anything, any type of cool videos, 1080p, which I assume when they say reduced resolution, that's what I thought too. I don't know another camera that could do that for that price. And all these other features to do higher resolution of. Because at slow motion, you really don't care too much because those are going to be a couple second clips just to show up aspect.
Right.
And then everything else is like, boom, really fast, and you see the rippleization, but you want detail in that. And that's what this camera is providing with the full frame.
4K 120, no crop, 10-bit 422, that's insane. With global shutter. Like, let's not forget, like, the thing that makes this incredible. This camera is an absolute beast. I am so glad this exists.
So I'm going to be getting an A7 really soon because this got into the market and those should be going down.
I'm actually looking at selling my A7 III, so if you're interested in an A7 III. Little full-frame beauty.
I am. I'm looking for something that can shoot a little bit higher 4K resolution speed.
Yeah, this still does 4K 30. You're not going to get into 4K 60 until you either lower your sensor size. Like remember my Zcam? I loved my Zcam, but I started needing autofocus a lot more, and my Zcam would do 4K at 160 frames per second, but it was micro Four Thirds.
No, I thought it was the 70A3 that did 120 at 4K.
No, the A7 III, even the A7 IV still does 4K 30.
Does it?
It'll do 1080 at 120 in burst mode. I can do like 10 seconds of 1080p 120. But no, my A7 IV still does. If the A7 S4, I believe, does 4K 60 at full frame.
Okay, they're saying the A6700 does 4K at.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the 6700 does 4K 60.
No, 30 frame. Yeah, you're right. The A7 30 frames per second. Yep, you're right.
Yep.
Because
even on my A7 IV, which is my daily driver camera, I still shoot 4K 30.
There's too many numbers.
Yep.
Variables to remember on everything. It's just so much, Jeff.
Yep.
And with that, I need another beer. That's
it
is.
We are an hour into this. I could use another beer myself.
I need another beer. And with that, let me grab mine. And I know exactly which one I want.
So now I'm wondering, while John's getting his second beer, so John, do I go with the hazy that I had planned, or do I attempt to match your first beer? Because I've got some heavy hitters right over in the fridge.
All right, so I got this second one is not a heavy. Well, in the Pacific Northwest, it's not a heavy hitter.
Okay,
it's a standard.
Right.
It's under double digits, so it's a standard.
Right. A 9.2 is a standard here.
Yes, exactly. Wow, you hit it right on the head. But it is barrel aged. So I have Devastation. There it is. Bourbon barrel aged double IPA.
Ooh.
Now Skull has had this before. This will be the first time I've had it.
That is an amazingly cool can.
Yeah. So not super big, but unique.
I mean, 9% and barrel aged. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Like,
and IPA, double IPA.
It doesn't have to put me on my ass to be enjoyable. Like,
yeah.
I was gonna go for a hazy. I did have a hazy IPA clocked up. I think I want to check out my fridge real quick. So if you wanna,
I will dissect this. I have no problem. This is interesting because I was expecting this to be kind of darker than it is, and this magnificent craft computing glassware is giving us a nice head, but it looks like your typical hazy. Scala, I would appreciate some comments in the chat, but smells great, very effervescent, floral. Head's very white. And it's still very hoppy. I don't know how barrel aged it is. It tastes actually just like a really good IPA. I was actually kind of expecting this to be kind of darker. A little disappointed in that aspect because the previous beer was so delicious as an old ale. Oh, Skull. Sorry then. It was someone in the Discord that has had this before. For some reason, I thought it was you, Skull. It was like a year ago too that someone had a variant of this. So it is Vivint Brewing Company. But yeah, very vibrant. It's interesting. So, what does everyone? And I know we're kind of getting off topic here, but what does everyone like to drink in their beverages? Is it bitter? Is it malty? Is it a little sweet? Is it a little barrel-aged woodiness? What do you look for when you think of that's the beverage I want? That's what's hitting me. That's my go-to. So far, yeah, to me, again, Ray's Pacific Northwest, I love hops.
Yeah.
Recently, malt is becoming my friend, but I still, every time I find a good hop beer, it's fantastic. The interesting thing about this beer, Jeff, not very barrel-agey, not very malty, actually tastes just like a really good double IPA.
So I was going to open a double dry hop New England. Hopped with Mosaic and Simcoe. So nice little 7.5%.
That's good. Yeah.
The first beer that I grabbed, and this is the problem with this fridge. The first beer that I grabbed, I went, oh, that sounds wonderful. 16.5.
Yeah, that's what you should have grabbed.
16.5. Now,
Should go with that.
Maybe later. I went ahead and grabbed Kenny Cookies Peanut Butter Blossom Cookie Stout, 9%. I decided instead of hazy, I wanted something a little sweeter. And so, Peanut Butter Cookie Stout. Here we go. Got my official craft computing pint glass here.
Yeah, oh, a little head there, but it looks kind of thick.
It is a little thick.
It's got a bit of head. It's
Yeah.
It's foaming.
Yeah. The bubbles are really large and thick. They're thick-walled. So I think this head's going to stay for a little bit. But there we go. So I said, yeah, the beer that I grabbed was 16.5%, and Elmo said, is that a problem? Is your glass better than the Gamer's Nexus glass? I'd like to think so, but I know I make all mine myself. So
100%.
Literally out in my garage.
No etching inside of their glassware.
Right. Mine is nucleated. I give the beer a nucleation point on the bottom of the glass. It actually enhances your drinking experience. So,
oh yeah. Even if it's not a beer, too, because the nucleation, the etching inside helps aromatics. So you have a soda. Well, it's basically anything carbonated.
Yeah. Yep.
So even if you're not an alcoholic drinker, but you like a sparkling water or a soda, these glasswares are going to enhance the flavor for you.
Yep. I've not seen one of Steve's glasses in person. They do look very nice, though. So I'm not going to disparage anyone else's merch on here. But is your glass better than Gamer's Nexus? Like I said, I'd like to think so. I'd like to think it's better. But I have no firsthand experience, nor can you trust my judgment on that in any way, shape, or form.
Well, if you would like to send us a free sampleware so we can compare, I would gladly do a review. Oh, no. All right.
I don't know that I like that.
What do we get? You don't like it?
I don't know that I do.
All right. What were the hops again? You said Simcoe and what?
No. This is the cookie. It's a cookie stout.
Cookie.
Peanut Butter Blossom Cookie Stout.
So I'm assuming peanut butter, vanilla, cookie dough.
Right. That's what I expected. What I got was like cherry blossom. Right?
Wait, what? That just like that's a raisin cookie?
No. Peanut
butter
blossom cookie
What's the date
stout.
on it?
That's what I'm wondering. is did I go a little too far on this one? I don't see a date.
Bottom of the can?
I looked at the bottom. It's clear.
Interesting.
It's like someone tried to pass a stout as a sour. We've all had those. Sour stout! No, bad beer.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a dark sour, I swear.
Right.
No,
right.
You spoiled your beer.
Right.
Yeah, what is it? When I went to back to, I'm not trying to rehash this, but back to earlier on the 2 months of hell that I've had, I had to go to Kansas City. And because now I'm the only network guy or IT guy that can travel legally for health reasons.
Yes.
So I had to go there, and I got to sample the local cuisine of beers. And so far, most of it was pretty good. But then I had a what they called a dark sour, and I was like, yeah, this tastes like a coffee stout gone bad. And I kind of called them out on it, and they were like, well, whatever, that's what the head brewer, because the head brewer wasn't there, it's like, whatever. And then, actually, this is the worst offense I've ever had done to me at a taproom. I was there, my wife called me just to talk, because there's a 2-hour difference. And I was at the tap room for dinner, and she was tucking the kid in, and she was like, oh, I'm just calling end of day. So I went outside because it was kind of loud. There was a bachelor party or something going on. So I went outside, and they thought I was part of it, and I went to the bathroom, and they took my sample tray. And I was like, how dare you think I was with these people? No, it was they gave me a free sample tray after the fact.
Yeah.
They still had it. But yeah, it was fun. That was the place I was like, I don't like half these beers. So it was fine. I don't want to do this.
You know what? Keep them.
Yeah, it was like, keep them. Can I get a different sample tray actually?
Yeah, this one's weird. So I'm getting peanut butter on the nose. Very reminiscent of was that Nut Crusher?
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of that porter-y, lighter bodied peanut butter kind of. Nope.
Don't like it.
Oh, that's bad. Oh.
Well,
the first drink I was like, okay, maybe it just hit me wrong. The second, no.
If they actually used real peanut butter in there, the oils and the extracts could have messed it up if you didn't drink it fresh.
Oh, that's straight vinegar now. All right, hazy IPA it is.
I'm getting a third. Jeff's drinking a third beer.
From Modest Brewing, Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is the Double False Pattern Hazy IPA. Double dry hopped New England style hazy, 7.5%.
Sounds very nice.
It'll go back in the hops and brews glass.
Ooh. It's going to get spoiled. I mean, mine's delicious. It just doesn't taste barrel-aged.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing for a beer that mentions bourbon barrel-aged. Because I've had some really good... They're a little bit more rare, but bourbon barrel-aged IPAs. And it's a wonderful combination.
No, I mean, this... It tastes great. I was expecting more of a malty backbone because of the barrel, No, it just tastes like a really good double IPA.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Wasn't it Rogue did a barrel-aged IPA recently? I want to say Rogue had one within the last couple of years.
Could have been. Oh man,
there's a good palate cleanser.
There you go. So I went and bought the. I do highly recommend this if you're in the Pacific Northwest. Pelican. What I personally love their brewery. Will recommend them. Double variety pack. And it's not a double IPA variety pack. It is a double Pilsner, a double IPA, a double a red ale, and then a double stout. So you get a great variety pack, all within that 8+ percentile. Oh, it's so great. I love it. That's what I bought for Thanksgiving to deal with the in-laws.
I'm sorry. Hold on. So, I have a YouTuber Discord server. So it's if you have a favorite content creator in the home lab space, they're in this server with me. But I have this server that I run, and we have one spot where we will post comments that are just out of left field,
okay.
or offensive or stupid or things like that, just to make us feel better about ourselves. Anyway, someone left a comment on my video today. I'm not going to call out the comment. I'm not going to do anything like that. But one of the people in the server said, I feel like any video about ZFS is the neckbeard equivalent of a bug light. Which is an amazing comment in and of itself. Well, one of the other YouTubers said, I needed to see what Dolly would do with that prompt. So, it is the neckbeard bug light. I'm literally dying over here.
Wait, what are all the what were all the moths or what were those moths or
they look like bees.
Yeah, I was gonna say what insect are
they're striped, but
oh, I thought those were Bud Light cans flying into it, but then with the bearded guys, the beer drinkers, the Bud Light drinkers.
I love a couple of them have beanies. We've got like a corduroy, but all the hats are on backwards.
Oh, totally. I love the fact that it's basically every beer drinker or craft beer drinker beer mustache.
Oh, that's amazing. I will share the full image in my Discord. I will post it right now. That's just funny. Okay, it's going in talking heads. So there you go. Enjoy.
So that means join the Discord, and it's only a minimum of $1 a month. It's fantastic stuff like this, stuff that I'm posting of my stress, all the other people in the Discord, but there's fantastic other areas, channels. There's trade, there's buy and sell, there's memes. That's not even just for the show. It's fantastic food areas, beer areas, just general chat, problem solving, movie, pop culture. It's a fantastic Discord. Trust me. Go and join. $1 a month, $1. Try it for a month. You're not going to be disappointed. I guarantee it. If not, Jeff will refund your money because I won't.
One guy's got like a corduroy fedora. It's amazing. The bottom right.
Oh yeah. They were thinking of you.
Yeah. Sorry, that just.
All right.
That just made me laugh.
What else we got, Jeff?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, Qualcomm had their annual announcement in which they announced the Snapdragon X Elite platform with their Orion CPU, 12 performance cores, and can peak at 4.3 gigahertz. This is all on ARM.
That's sweet.
Now, they claim this CPU is faster and more efficient than Intel and Apple's M2 processor offerings. Now, keep in mind, this was before the M3 announcement. So Qualcomm's not conveniently omitting the M3. They didn't have access to the M3. But there's been a lot of speculation of how good could these processors actually be. Well, we have some Geekbench 6 numbers for the Apple M3, the M3 Pro and the M3 Max, comparing them to the Snapdragon X Elite. And it's actually a really good competition. So this is over at Windows Central. So here is the Apple M3 up down here at the bottom, scoring a 3163 single-threaded and 11211 multi-threaded. The Snapdragon X Elite doesn't quite hit it, but it's within like 8% in single-threaded performance, scoring a 2940 and a 2780 respectively in their two different wattage modes. But the multi-threaded straight up beats the M3 by a pretty significant margin of 14,000 and 15,130 respectively. Now, this is actually pretty much, if you take the Snapdragon X Elite, it is almost bang on the score of the Apple M3 Pro. That's pretty nuts. As far as a bang for buck performance level, efficiency level, type CPU benchmark. The M3 Max is still the overall winner with a multi-threaded score of 21,405, but nothing short of impressive, which gives me a lot of hope for some potential ARM-based Windows laptops coming to market, getting some of that ARM efficiency over on the Windows side of things for once, and seeing how things stack up. Now, it'll be really curious to find out how, if, when these Windows laptops actually do come to market. But again, looking at this benchmark slide, that Snapdragon X Elite is running at 80 watts. I don't know if that's a typo. I don't know if that's total system power or if that's chip power, but it's only scoring like 1,000 more points multi-threaded than the 23 watt variant. It can't be losing that much efficiency in... John, I think I lost your microphone, John.
That was me.
There you are. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. But no, yeah, these are also running at like 4 gigahertz plus.
Yeah.
3.8 to 4 gigahertz plus of the Snapdragon, of the 80 watts and then below. So for the Windows performance and everything else, that's amazing, essentially.
Yeah.
Sorry, cut you off. My point was earlier in your speech. All right, what part of chat did I miss?
Oh my gosh. You guys are going to love this. So this conversation is ongoing in the YouTuber thread. Another YouTuber said, add beers to it. And Crosstalk Solutions, who is doing all this, he added that to the prompt. So I'm going to show the Discord first what that prompt is.
All right, that's pretty hilarious, actually.
Let me get that up there. There we go. That is that's amazing. That is so great. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love that. That is very much what I expected.
I think I know those guys. That's the problem.
Right?
It's like I actually can physically see, like, oh, I know that person, that person, that person. Pretty sure I know that guy.
So, yeah, no, Snapdragon actually, comparing to the base M3, loses by a significant margin, 14,000 down to just 11,000. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see once we actually have laptop versus laptop, like actually hands-on these devices, which should happen as early as next month.
Yeah,
where all of this lines up at.
Well, what I really like about this too is the Snapdragon's a lot cheaper priced. Again, it's ARM based. For that consumer and laptop, similar to what we were talking about for the 8 gigs. That's really what that Snapdragon is going for. It's not meant for big processing. It's just, hey, here's a laptop to browse the internet. Here's a laptop to do a little bit of online Excel documents and Word documents, and that's it.
Right.
You know, you want to surf YouTube, you want to do this X, you want to watch Netflix, and it's going to be $399.
Right.
And the battery's going to last 8 hours.
I don't think it's going to be $399. I think we're going to be looking more at the like $1,000 price point.
You think so?
I think so.
I bet $499, $599 is probable. I think we're going to see that within a year or two.
Within a year or two, sure. And I'm sure there are going to be lower power SKUs as well. Remember, this is Snapdragon's, this is Qualcomm's top of the line chip.
And we're going to see these in phones, is that's the thing. First, before we're going to see these in laptops, I think.
No, these are coming out in laptops. These are coming out in Windows-based laptops. Yeah.
I would. Well, okay. Cool.
They may eventually land in phones as well, but no, the Snapdragon X Elite is meant for a multi-purpose laptop-based system.
But I still think it's going to be cheaper than the equivalent $1,300 iMac, or Mac Pro or whatever.
Yes, no, I fully agree with that. But no, this is the reference designs for the Snapdragon X Elite. So you got a couple of laptops here, a 23-watt max TDP and an 80-watt max TDP. And they're saying that the TDP is not the actual system draw. That's the thermal performance of the system. So whatever that means. But yeah, 4K display on one of them, 14.5-inch OLED on the bottom one, 2880 by 1800. That's kind of a cool layout there. But yeah, anyway, we should potentially get hands on these within the next month or so. So I'm very curious to find out where these actually line up as far as performance with, Apple's latest offerings go. And while we like to laugh at Apple for the 8 gigabytes of RAM is the new 16 and stuff like that, there is some merit to Apple's memory management within their OS, especially when it comes to day-to-day tasks. There's no long and short that there is some magic under the hood there. But when it comes to straight-up performance, I'm kind of curious to see where this all shakes up.
It would be... I want to see performance for value. Is what I really want to see. Is that, I mean, if I'm paying $900 for this versus a $1,200, okay, I don't really. I mean, I understand that as a savings, but I don't. I want to see more savings. I want to see $400 to $500. I would say I want to see this at the $499, $599 mark. That is competitive to a $1,200 MacBook Pro. Now, I understand that the performance won't be 1-to-1. I totally understand that I'm paying for something a little bit less. But when it becomes to an everyday just internet browser driver that earlier we were talking about, doesn't need a lot of stuff to do that. This should do everything we need. I think this is going to start showing within the next couple of years, we're going to see some really cheap laptops coming out that are going to be that we can give to our in-laws and every older people. Like, hey, here's a nice laptop that are like $400 in 2-3 years. That's going to last you, quote unquote, the rest of your life, type of a thing, because they just want to go and post on Facebook or chat or do things with their email with everyone else, and it's not going to be bogged down unless they talk to that Nigerian prince and give them their bank account number. As long as we locked that part down, that'd be great. But this is a great step forward into the low powering. We're going to see a lot of better battery consumption, and our batteries are going to last a lot longer with these ARM processors.
Right.
And with the amount of compute power these ARM processors have, it's going to be a lot easier too on us. We're not going to be complaining and shaking our heads versus, 2 years ago, these ARM processors were like 2.3, 2.4 gigahertz, and they've already doubled that within 2 years. That's fantastic.
Right.
So I like that.
Trying to remember.
Also, I'm very positive to see these in like a Pi situation, but then I don't think the Pi is going to be $50 anymore, or a microcomputer to be under $100. Although we might see a craft computing video be like, this microcomputer is under $100 and it's way better than a Pi.
Yeah.
Look forward to that video in 12 to 16 months.
Yep. Getting some comments on my keyboard. They like the sound of the switches. Yeah, I think these are Kale Greens is what I ended up swapping the switches out for. I think it's been a while. Yeah, I think they're Kale Greens. They are some of the clickiest switches that you can get.
I love clicky keyboards via phone because it makes you sound like you're busy and you're not actually not.
Right.
I'll be on a call and be like, "Hey, can you help me?" "Oh yeah, no problem." Click, 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 click. And it's just me hitting like, "Oh, I messed up my password like 3 times because I was going too fast."
Yeah,
and they're like, "Wow, you're working really hard." I was like, "Yeah, this is a real doozy," and it's just really just me trying to enter my password because my pinky is just like not quite there.
Yeah.
What was that typing instructor program?
Mavis Beacon?
The Mavis Beacon, thank you, sir. Yeah. I need to do that again. I need to get my pinky strength back up.
Yep. So, anyway. Speaking of Apple, God, we can't get off the topic today.
Right,
the Nothing phone. The right to repair, lovable chaps that they are. They have done something insanely stupid. Nicola would say, would you say the green is clickier than the blue? Yes. You can also get the... Kale has some box switches. I'm trying to remember what exact switches they are. They're even clickier than this. They're the box greens, box teals, something like that. They have a couple of different brands of switches that are, or types of switches that are even clickier than this one. But yeah, the greens are much more than the blues are. Anyway, Nothing Phone is now the first Android smartphone to receive official Apple iMessage support 12 years after it was introduced. So, iMessage was launched in 2011 as part of WWDC 2011 for the release of iOS 5. As part of this release, Apple said, we will be open sourcing iMessage. So anyone with who wants to join our platform can do that. And then they never did. And Apple messaging has been a one-sided user affair ever since. Despite the promise of, freeing us. Now, the reason this is a big deal for those in the younger crowd is we used to pay per text message. And Apple kind of ended that in one fell swoop when they said, screw it, we'll just use your data. Like, why are you paying per SMS when it's literally the size of a ping? Why don't you just send the message to us and we'll relay it for free? Because you get unlimited data right now. So then they started limiting our data instead. But we don't have to pay for text messages anymore. You used to buy bundles of like 100 or 200 text messages a month because it was realistic to only send that number of messages per month.
Well, that was the SMS messaging system.
Yeah. SMS and MMS. Right.
Yeah. Gosh.
Yep.
No longer no high def images and videos that needed to be done decompressed and recompressed and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, phone plans used to be unlimited talk and text, or now they're unlimited talk and text. The reason they're called unlimited talk and text is you used to have to pay for talk and text. That wasn't the selling feature of the phone.
Oh, no, I love, do you ever watch, like movies from early 2000s to where the person is doing the SMS texting, but it's like in their pocket and they're like, oh, I totally got this. 100%. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like, and then it's a long descriptive message or like, bull. I mean, okay. There were people that could do that. I understand that.
I could do that.
All right. I could do a short message.
I was a wizard with T9, okay?
I'd love to see that. I wasn't around with... You and I became friends shortly after that.
Yes. I'd
love to see that.
What's really funny is I was working with a youth group one time, and one of the games that they came up with was who can text the fastest. And so they would put a message up on the screen, and you had to be completely phonetically correct. You had to text the exact message, but you had to text it on your phone. And I was one of the leaders at the time for this youth group, and I was beating all the kids at T9 texting. To the point the other leader had to yell at me to stop ruining the competition because he kept having to take second place because Jeff kept winning.
I know who we're all talking about.
Yes.
Now that's a fun Discord game. Man, actually, in general, could we make an actual game out of that? Like, that could be a mobile game. That would be a pretty fun game. To do multivariant versions of different text messaging via that way, swipe, modern version. Who can do the fastest?
I call graffiti.
Graffiti, yeah. Again, that would be so. Here's a game platform: is you would pick your version of texting, and you have to compete against another person who does that.
Yeah,
and then you basically just go head to head. And then it says, hey, here's a sentence. Go.
Yeah. And
then whoever the, best percentage, and then they win.
Yep.
I think that would be a pretty fun game, actually.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, that's a patented craft computing hops and brews. No one else can do that. This is, I'm stating that you cannot infringe on this copyright.
So in high school, I used to take notes on a Palm Pilot. The way I practiced was I would read a book and I would transcribe the book in graffiti, not looking at my hand. So I would just enter the characters one by one. And so I wrote like line for line, word for word, character for character, entire books into my Palm Pilot. to practice doing graffiti so I could do it fast enough, so I could transcribe in real time and write down exactly what I was thinking as fast as I could write it in real time. Yeah, graffiti I was a freaking wizard at.
Oh no, see, so I had I don't remember what it was called, but I had the keyboard attachment that would it wasn't a phone, it was some other essentially just note-taking device. But I believe it was graffiti or keyboard.
Graffiti was the Palm Pilot pen stylus interface.
Yeah. And gosh, what was it? It was a Palm device. And then it would attach to a keyboard, and so I would just then have a keyboard.
Yeah, 3Com had like folding keyboards.
Yeah. So I had one of those. And that's what I had through high school. It was for junior year and senior year. I had that for all of my note taking devices.
Yeah.
And so everyone was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just doing this." And then once I was done,
use pen and paper.
Oh yeah, no. Once I was done taking snake all the way. Like, oh, I'm done taking notes. I got it. And everyone else still writing. I'm playing Snake.
You poor kid. Minutes. You should have downloaded Space Trader.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Space Trader. In fact, I have a Palm OS emulator on my phone, so I can play Space Trader still.
Gosh. How horrible are we to replay the games of our day and then show it to our kids and then mock us for them, be like, this is dumb, Dad.
Right?
This is like, where's the graphics? Why can't I do this? Why can't I change my weapon to be a stronger weapon? I'm so sorry. It's all about skill and knowledge and timing. Learn a skill. No, yeah. I need just to go kill a bunch of low-level people to upgrade my weapon. It's like, no, you don't understand what I had to deal with as a child.
I'm not kidding. I have a Palm OS emulator to play Space Trader.
I was started laughing as I full screened my chat video.
I am super serious about this, okay? I have a Palm OS emulator on my phone to play Space Trader.
That's so dumb.
Don't test me.
Oh, that's so dumb. That is so dumb. How are we not more popular? We need to be more popular.
We got 122 viewers right now. We're doing all right.
Yeah, we're doing good. In general, share this video with all of your friends. Look, we're a fantastic community. We love everyone. Just share it.
We might even make it through the news stories tonight.
Right? We might. I think we got one more?
We haven't even finished the Nothing phone. We talked about iMessage support, but we didn't say what they're doing. Nothing phone becomes the first Android smartphone to receive official Apple iMessage support. You can log in with an Apple account and receive iMessages with the blue
the full
your blue chat windows directly to your Android phone. Now, how they're doing this is sketchy AF. It sounds like literally John dreamt it up in a fever dream while trying to rebuild his server. Okay?
I would do it too.
What they are doing is they have a server farm full of Mac Minis in which they are VMing you off an instance to link your iCloud account to a Nothing phone account. You receive the iMessage on the Mac Mini. It then forwards it on to your Nothing phone.
I see no problem here so far. I see no problem.
Because that's the only way to tie into Apple's iMessage system is by having an official Apple device.
Solution is solved. Who cares? Fixed. Shut up, everyone else. I did what you asked me to do.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
I love it.
It is so stupid.
I want to become this guy's best friend because I love the way he did it.
Now remember, Apple said at one point they're going to open source iMessage. That was the message that was delivered in WWDC 2011. iMessage will be open sourced. WWDC. Worldwide Developer Conference.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they meant WWE because it was a bull.
Right. And this should have been fixed a long time ago. But the only way to receive an iMessage officially is to receive it on an Apple device via an Apple account. So, why don't we buy a bunch of Mac Minis, virtualize as many instances of a Mac Mini on a single Mac Mini as we can, because virtualizing your host is completely legal and within the user license agreement for owning a Mac Mini and hosting services and that kind of thing. And then basically write a script so anyone logging in with a Nothing Phone account gets their Apple account linked to it, and we just use the Mac Mini VM servers as relays to send you iMessages.
I mean, okay, so like I said, we only have 2 IT guys in my department, me and one other guy. And the other guy, it was about 2 years ago, I convinced him, like, Android, go Android.
Yeah.
And he loved it. And then his wife complained. Because of the messenger. Decompression and the ratio of sending messages and videos, and it was horrible. And so they forced him to go back to Apple. And this is what happened. Is there's no community. Honestly, I don't see why, though, Apple has been fighting this for so long, where Android has. I understand Android can't do what this guy did because that's horrible, and then so therefore they. Well,
this isn't a guy. This is Nothing Phone. They make a phone. This is a manufacturer tying in Apple's service here.
It's a small manufacturer. So when I say guy, I mean guy that's probably like 12 people.
I do love this listing though. Brand, nothing. It's great. So I'm not trying to diminish this guy's or this company's the people behind it, but sure, he found a solution. The problem is, in 1 to 2 years, probably even 1 year, 6 months, this isn't going to work anymore. They're going to find a way around, or it's going to bog down. Yeah.
And it's just not going to work anymore. The problem is Apple / Android will not talk to each other because they want to be competitive.
Right.
They want to have that, oh, you want to be on our network? Well, here's this service. Where, at least Android, what I love is they're saying, we'll be compatible with everyone else. I don't know. I know I'm just speaking out of turn and annoyance and all this other stuff. You're
speaking out of frustration.
Yeah, I know.
But you're in line with what a lot of us think of messaging should not be that hard.
Right, it really should. Look, I'm trying to share something, and 90% of the stuff that's being shared is memories, true memories. It is a grandmother, a mother trying to share, or father trying to share. Here, grandmother, grandfather, look at my child doing X, or vice versa, blah blah blah. You know, all that stuff. And they're decompressing it, and we're just like, technology should be
you're talking about
far enough.
Taking the picture and then having it compressed to all hell via the messaging network. Right.
Video, whatnot, the messenger, all that stuff, because of the Apple
I cannot
Android app.
A lot of my family use iPhones, and they'll try to send me videos of things. And iPhone, if it's not sending via iMessage, compresses your video to basically 240p.
320. Yeah, exactly. 324, 240.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. We have, for my company, we give all of the employees iPhones.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're for a company phone, but then they use that to send me, hey, I'm debugging this. I have an Android. And so the video that gets back to me is compressed so much. I'm like, I can't read the text you're doing. I can't read what you're showing me because it's so bad video. Can you show it to me some other way?
Yeah.
I have to say, hey, let's become Facebook friends so you can send it to me that way. And it's like, that's stupid in my comparison.
The fact that I hear so little about Apple sending video to Android users being a problem it makes me want to put on a tinfoil hat and say there's some suppression going on with those complaints 100%. Because I don't hear it from anyone else, but anytime my family sends me a video, like, hey, the horse did something cool out in the corral today, or hey, look, I saw some elk above my property, or this or that, or whatever else, which are all messages I've received from my family. I get the video and I go, oh, wow, that's cool. I wish I could see it.
It's so blurry, I can't see it.
Yeah. They receive my videos just fine.
Yep.
Well,
that's the problem. I will send people high resolution, and Android then states, do you want to send it low compress or high compress? And then so Android will give me the option.
Right.
To where an Apple user then gets, because other people say, hey, I had to download your video. Is it okay? Because they thought it was a virus. But it's like, no, it's 100% fine. It's cool. And then they do it, and they're like, oh, that's awesome. Android doesn't get that option.
Right.
Because Apple already decompresses it as it's sent.
Yep.
And so there's not an option for that Apple user. I would be fine if it was both ways of an Apple user stating, do I want to decompress it for my data usage, or do I want to like send it full raw, essentially? And that would be fine with me. And then Apple, so that's the problem. It's, to me, it comes back to an Apple issue. It could be, I don't know 100% of the problem or the issues between the two companies or the networking issues or compression issues, but it seems to be, from my aspect, a more Apple issue than an Android issue.
No, it absolutely is. The video sending issue feels like Apple going, well, you could have received the full resolution if you had an Apple device and had iMessage.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Because there's no physical restriction on why Apple is doing that. You're sending it over GSM data. You're sending it over cell towers. It doesn't matter what the receiving client is. It doesn't matter what the sending client is. It's just data. And you can send data to anything, from anything. It's Apple going, oh, this is going out of network, we're going to compress it.
Yeah, and that's crap, because they're trying to say, like, oh, if you're not within our infrastructure, we are going to compress it, so make sure everyone within your family has our infrastructure. That, to me, seems...
It's anti-competitive, but at the same time, there's no laws against it.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say bullish, but yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's an absolute bully stance.
Yeah, I know. I it's not to say, look...
It's why I don't own iPhones anymore.
It's not that I don't like Apple product. I understand Apple does have an advantage and a particular value in aspects. But... however, they have a very bullish aspect on particular values or areas of their software, compression, everything else. I don't particularly like. I like Android because they're basically open, but because of the openness, they're very aware of, like, hey, vulnerable in all these areas. So I like vulnerability with the idea of exploration. I could, as a person of my field, could explore more without having to pay for it. Apple, I have to pay for the exploration of their field. And back to the original article we were talking about, just the 8 gigs versus 16 gigs. It's compass idealism that they have. It's not that they don't have a right to state these ideas that they have in certain aspects, but in other areas that comment or for the common person, not really, we don't care. It's money, similar to your channel, money per value of what's going on. Can I get a decent performance from a used product or any other area? And whether that's Apple, Android, PC, blah blah, ARM, whatever, you're just like, look, I can get this value per buck.
I have a video coming out probably on Friday of a PC that I picked up from a local recycler that I turned into a gaming machine.
Exactly. That's you and I, all the hosts here, and a lot of our the big subs on the Discord and everyone else. We love that because we thrive on that. That's a culture everyone here loves about of just, who doesn't love a value and just like, hey, I can there's no difference between this and scrapping for souping up your car. I want to soup up my computer. I want to soup up this thing for my personal family value. No one wants to be, I don't want to say the word raked, but raked over the coals for
raked. Okay.
Raked. Yes, raked, not
raked. Don't yeah. Raked over the coals. Yes.
Raked, not
Yeah. I got it.
My microphone was low, so I had to lean in.
Yeah.
Raked. For a value of something. You know, we all love, I think everyone in this channel, this Discord, and that looks for this type of stuff, we love finding value. We love scavenging. We love
we're all tired of getting less for our money. We're tired of
yes.
I'm tired of going to Burger King and getting an 8-piece nugget and having it being $1 more and the nuggets being smaller. I'm tired of I'm tired of your dollar cheeseburger menu now being $2.50 and me just
$3.99, $2.99,
right.
And it's the value menu,
right?
That's $3.99.
Yeah,
but we want to see that we have technology that we also love within our homes that we want to see the value in, and we don't want to be raked over the coals of, hey, we want this within our home. We want this within our internal infrastructure or even corporate infrastructure, and we want to know what the value is. And I think there are certain corporations that are still doing that. Okay, I'm not saying Apple is purposely doing this, but it just seems shady of like, hey, you could do this and boost your morale within your own customer base of if you kind of upgrade your compression, you know, and therefore this company, if it wasn't for this company, this shows that this company is showing that you're losing subscription base because this company is thriving by saying, hey, we're going to go and buy a bunch of old MacBook M1s or whatever and compressing these text messages for you. It's like Apple could do this even cheaper than this company could do it.
Apple could open the API and allow it to work, and everyone would be happy. And in fact, Apple promised that freaking 12 years ago. But they didn't do it.
And that's just, yeah. And so it's unfortunate. Every department is, as much as you and I, we are known for being part of $1 million corporations areas, and these are $1 billion, quadrillion dollar corporations, and it's not just one head; it's multiple heads making stupid decisions, and that's the dumbest part. It's just not knowing what the consumer wants and how to lead forward, and that's what's hard. I hope Apple sees this really quickly from this company stating that, hey, we are making a profit off of this, and Apple's going to say, hey, that's the right thing to do. Let's buy this company out, give them some money. We're going to give them a profit, so they were heading in the right direction. Let's buy them out, and then therefore let's continue their service. They win, we win, everyone wins. I would like to see something along that lines. Because I know my friends that have Apple devices, when they send me video, it's horrible. I would love to see that marriage, but I don't want to see someone raked over the coals. I messed that word up. Raked over the coals for that. For pointing out a deficiency with either an Apple or Android. Either way. So.
Yep.
My thought. Yeah.
Valve announced the Steam Deck is getting a new revision. Not a Steam Deck 2, but a slightly up-spec'd version of the Steam Deck. And I do mean ever so slightly up-spec'd. It is now including an OLED display.
Okay.
And basically a revision of the 7625 APU that was inside of it previously. This is basically the exact same architecture of CPU, but it is 6 nanometer instead of 7. So it's a slightly different process node. Think of this as the Zen 2 Plus architecture, which the 4600 series already kind of was. But Zen 2 Plus, so a slight improvement in efficiency, little bit better FinFET design, but the same 8 compute unit, RDNA Generation 2 or Generation 1 graphics that the original Steam Deck had. It now has an OLED display, and they say it's a larger display, but like 1/3 of an inch. It's inside the same frame, so I consider it the same size display. And nothing. Oh, I think we lost John. John, okay? Hopefully, we'll get John back. There we go. It's like 1/3 of an inch larger, and so it is technically a larger display, although not really. But it is OLED, so we do get HDR and all that benefit. There is a fringe benefit here, though, and that is that between the improved architecture of the CPU, APU, and the OLED display, it's actually supposed to get up to about 25% better battery life. It does also include a larger 50 watt-hour battery versus the 40 watt-hour that was included in the original. And they also managed to reduce the weight of the Steam Deck by 30 grams, so down to 640 grams versus 670 for the original. So this is a lighter, longer battery life unit, and honestly a pretty good like mid-generation upgrade for the Steam Deck. Is it worth upgrading your Steam Deck? Absolutely not. I don't think there's a person alive who should realistically tell you should upgrade your Steam Deck because it has a slightly larger battery and an OLED display. You are realistically not going to net any benefits from spending $400 replacing your $400 Steam Deck. Just no. This is not a Steam Deck 2. This is not faster. This is not better. This is not in any way, shape, or form the way I would go. But it is an option now So there you go. Prices are staying about the same. I think this starts at $399 for the 256 gig model. The 64 gig eMMC only model is now pretty much discontinued. I think the Steam Deck now starts at $399 with this model. However, this OLED model is only available in the US and Canada. So the original Steam Deck will remain for sale in other regions, and then the US and Canada will receive the Steam Deck OLED. And that's that. I had one more piece about the Legend of Zelda movie that was officially announced to be in the works, but that's pretty much all the announcement is that we're thinking about making a movie. And it's in the works. There's been no casting decisions. There's not even a director yet. There's nothing that we can really announce other than that Legend of Zelda movie is officially on the table for the foreseeable future. We'll see if any more announcements come. Obviously, after the Super Mario movie did so well at the box office, Nintendo looking at other IPs and figuring out, what would translate well into movies. I think Zelda was probably the next in line. Obviously, infamously, gosh, this was like 10 or 12 or even 13 years or so ago, IGN, for an April Fool's Day, made a Legend of Zelda movie trailer that was quite impressive. And honestly, if this movie holds even a candle to what that trailer looked like, I think this is going to be pretty much like printing money. But yeah, Zelda movie is officially official. Hops and Brews, his power cut off? He lose power? That's amazing. Yeah, his power died. Well, it is 8:05. So we are at the top of the hour. And I think this is as good a place as any to end the show. So thank you all so much for watching. I don't know why I'm still on that view. Sorry. Habit of going to scene one. Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. We go live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure to subscribe to Hops and Brews if you like the beer content on this show. Link is down in the video description to his channel where he does beer reviews very similar to what we did today. Skull says, quick, get over there with some coolers. We have to save the beer. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. If John makes it back, I'll let him give a quick little out. John, are you gonna make it back? He says he's almost back. Hold on. He should auto connect if he makes it back. I'll give him a couple seconds here. But no, we got some cool content coming up on the channel. In a couple weeks, I've got a collab coming up that I'm super excited about that you will all get to see on here, not only on this channel but on another channel that is completely not in the realm of craft computing that you've seen before, but should be very, very exciting. Hey, John's back. All right. How's your day, John?
Start. I bought a Wise Smart Switch thanks to John the Net Guy, and it was pre-programmed for a day that I was not on craft computing.
It's the problem with automation is unless you tell it otherwise.
Yeah, and so
you're not supposed to be here right now.
Exactly. My studio was like, "Oh, you're shut down. You have 2 hours to be in here. Done." And yeah, so that's what happened. Yeah. So thanks that John the Net Guy, the Wise Smart power adapter did work.
Yeah.
Just I didn't program it properly.
So that reminds me actually. So someone brought me some beer. They dropped it up my chair at PDX LAN. And it was dropped anonymously with a note that
for me.
No. Well, it did say happy Hoppa Days, but I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure they weren't referring to you.
I think they were.
Nowhere in there did it say and brews. So.
Well, hop. Well, what part of hop is in your title, Jeff?
Craft.
Exactly. So therefore, nope.
One of us has a beer glass in our logo.
Mine.
You have the top of a bottle.
Okay, that's a good point.
I have a beer glass in my logo.
All right.
Yeah. You didn't even have the whole bottle. You have the top of a bottle.
It's an etched version. You cannot see if I don't do that way.
Your version doesn't include anything in here. That's all blank space, my friend.
Then you wouldn't see my hands. I'd be an armless bunny.
You could totally have outlined the hands.
No, it doesn't look as good.
I know it doesn't.
Trust me.
I know it doesn't.
It doesn't. It's horrible. How do you think I got my wife to sign up this channel? You know the origin story of this channel.
I do. I'm going to do a YouTube channel. That sounds stupid. I'm going to put a bunny in it. Oh!
Basically. Basically it.
What's funny is I know your wife well enough to do that.
Yep. That's how it worked. That's exactly. Let me go. Why did I make it a bunny? Oh, okay. Dude, that's fine.
By the way, if you're watching, sorry.
Yeah, no, she doesn't watch.
I know.
Actually, she does watch the lives every now and then.
Yeah.
She does. She was like, Steve was on for this long and you weren't on for that long. Like,
yeah.
what? When did you watch the channel? I was like, well, it comes up on my notifications. Why didn't you click it then?
You watch Tops and Brews. You might be interested in some actual good beer content.
Oh, ouch. Ooh. I'm going to start doing spirits, Jeff. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do spirits.
Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Episode 309 of Talking Heads. Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to Hops and Brews if you like the beer content. Link is down in the video description. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always...
I'll be louder.
That's right.
I'll be louder next time!
Yeah.
How's that? Is this better?
It's fine to me.
Oh, it probably peaks on your end.
A little bit. Yeah, you're peaking now.
Ah, there we go.
As opposed to peaking in high school.
Ooh. Goodbye.
And as always, we'll see you next week.
All right, we're good.